Everyone is talking about the Polish CEO who grabbed the hat from the boy at the US Open. I just saw he came out and apologized. He said he made a serious mistake and it was a lesson in humility. While it wasn't the best look for the CEO, I think this was a missed life lesson for the boy. You can't expect to have everything handed to you. I mean, let's be real. The boy's tickets were purchased by his parents. The CEO worked his you-know-what off to be there. What do you think? I think this was a life lesson for the boy. I think the life lesson was, it doesn't matter if something is literally meant to be your property and is being handed directly to you. A millionaire can and will try and steal it from you. This video brought to you by my YouTube members and patrons. Thank you guys. Rise and grind, wave slave. Rise and grind, wage slaves. It's the time of the day where wealthy people remind you that they're rich and that you're poor, and then pretend that it's the result of some meaningful decision they've made and not nepotism and generational wealth. Welcome to LinkedIn Lunatics. I thought it would be really funny to wear a shirt and a tie for this video, and then I realized that at this point, the only relatively smart shirt I own is the shirt that I bought for the Nice Guys Halloween video where I dressed up as the Joker because it was Nice Guys. So now this is the only smart shirt I've got. Don't get me wrong, it's actually a nice shirt. I think it looks nice, but it is the Joker's shirt, and anybody who knows the Joker well enough for that will recognize it. And none of my ties go with it. I had to wear a black tie because none of the other ties that I've got actually go with it. So we're wearing this today. So r/LinkedIn Lunatics. I hadn't heard of this subreddit before. I was aware of the crazy people on LinkedIn that make LinkedIn their entire personality of just bullshitting why they have so much money and ignoring that they were born into generational wealth. But I didn't realize there was a whole subreddit for it. So that's what we're looking at today. Very quickly before we begin, I just wanted to mention, as always, that YouTube members and patrons, you guys get an extra video every single week for as low as £1 a month, so please do consider joining, as it's always a good time, and it really helps support the channel, a lot. But other than that, let's get into the subreddit, shall we? I'll never forget the look on the urologist's face when he asked if I was at all familiar with robotic surgery, and I told him I work at NVIDIA. Yes, you work at NVIDIA in Enterprise AI Marketing. Are you familiar with robotic surgery? I work at NVIDIA. Oh, and what do you do? AI marketing. Okay, so let me explain what robotic surgery is. This is definitely what happened, right? The look on the urologist's face was probably... So what robotics is, yeah, man, you're bragging. I don't know. LinkedIn's so weird because you have people bragging about the grind, but also just posting pictures of them in hospital or really weirdly personal things. It's such a bizarre platform. It was such a mistake to exist. Hey, what's the budget you have in mind for the role? The budget is whatever makes sense for someone who delivers 10 times the impact. If you're asking about salary before showing what you can build, this probably isn't the right place. We're not hiring employees. We're building a team of warriors. If you're in, prove it. 10 times the impact. That means that you're offering 10 times the pay, right? You understand that people aren't just working for you and making you rich for the joy of working for you. They're doing it because they gotta eat and pay rent, right? So the salary is a pretty important aspect of eating and paying rent, right? Just because you're rich enough that that's not something you have to worry about doesn't mean that other people don't have bills to pay. Working from home today? Well, my ex-wife's home. We've maintained our friendship post-marriage. A few nights ago, she really helped me talk through something. It was silly, but she showed up in kindness and friendship. Just feeling gratitude for that today. She's a badass. Is this dude bragging about sofa surfing in his ex-wife's house? Why is this on LinkedIn? Why is this something that you felt the need to post on LinkedIn? This is some impressive thing that you slept at your ex-wife's house. Really weird. It's just a really weird post. Yeah, I worked from my ex-wife's house today. Did you? Did you though? And what is your work? Is it just LinkedIn posts? I got an offer. 140K in remote work. I resigned after the first hour. The next hour, the company came back with 180K, a different role, whatever you want, but the money wasn't the issue. What I saw in the first hour was a team paralyzed by fear. Fear of getting fired, fear of saying the wrong thing, fear of making a mistake. I don't care if it's 140K or 1.4 million. I would rather die than live in fear. Well, he does have in his description that he's an online storyteller, so it makes sense that he's telling stories online because no one believes this. No one at all. Your job is that you talk to people about being rich. That's it. Your whole job is telling stories about all of the opportunities that I got to be rich, when the reality is none of them are true. Your job is bullshitting people and telling them that they can be rich just like you if they have the right mindset, they have the right grind set, and they too turn down 140K jobs so that they can tell people stories on LinkedIn. Yeah, buddy, we all believe it. Choose your hobbies wisely. Average people hobbies: television, party, gaming, job. Rich people hobbies: gym, knowledge, invest in mentors, business. So first of all, a job and business are definitively not hobbies, because that's not what hobby means. If you're doing something for a living, it's not a hobby anymore, it's a job. Also, knowledge isn't a hobby. Learning, maybe you could say, is a hobby. You know, educating yourself, learning, hobby. Knowledge, something that you just possess or don't, isn't a hobby. But like, yeah, you can invest in mentors and you can run a business because you're rich. You have the money to invest in those mentors and to invest in a business. You have the spare time to make the life that you want, right? You have the time to invest in knowledge and go to the gym and invest in mentors and run a business and still have a life outside of that. Average people who have to work a job don't have the opportunities that you have. They don't have the money to invest in those things without potentially ruining themselves. They don't have the time or energy to do half of these things outside of work because they don't make their hours. These aren't like the hobbies that get you rich and that rich people do these things and that's why they're rich. It's rich people do these things because they can, because they're rich. Like the important distinction isn't these things will get you rich. It's if you get rich, you can do these things, right? And these LinkedIn millionaires always love acting like it's this mindset thing that got them where they were, and not just that they had the generational wealth, that they had money from their families that allowed them to create and invest in businesses when they were young that has got them the money they have now. Not everyone has those opportunities. Awful scene at Utah Valley today, but it had me thinking about strategy as a leader. When disaster hits, us leaders need to be 1, transparent, 2, use multiple channels, 3, control the narrative. This dude really saw an assassination and went, man, how can I make this about selling my business? How can I make this about being on LinkedIn? Also, I'm sorry, when disaster hits, us leaders need to be like this. Now, you understand that in this example, if disaster has hit you, you're dead. Charlie Kirk can't use this as an opportunity to be transparent and use multiple channels. He's dead. That's not an opportunity for him to grow as a leader. He very much it isn't. But now it's time for a cat break. Is that stopped now? Nope. Trying to film a funny video here and the foxes outside are just going absolutely berserk. No idea if my phone is picking that up. So Mr. Homby here knows when it's my bedtime, and my bedtime is now, and I'm gonna show you how he knows that it's my bedtime. Come on, Hades. It's bedtime. Come on, mister. It's bedtime. Yeah. It's bedtime, isn't it? Come on. What are you doing down there? It's bedtime. What are you doing? Hi. Is it biscuit time? Yeah. And back to the video. Most of you are broke because you overpay for food. I spent less than 30 pounds today in Vietnam and ate like a king. massive dim sum meal I didn't even finish, an acai bowl on demand, coffees lined up like soldiers, pre-made pesto pasta and chicken with sauces, all delivered to my door. Meanwhile, you're stressing over Tesco meal deals. I got fuel and time back for pennies. That's why I can lock in and keep stacking. Stop crying about the cost of living. Move somewhere where it doesn't apply. So before I even move on to the second post that follows this up a week later, if people are struggling with the cost of living, they don't have the ability or the money to just pack up their entire lives and move to a company where the cost of living is lower. If someone is struggling to pay for rent and fuel and food, they can't just pack up their lives, potentially all of their children, and just move to Vietnam. That's not something people just have the power to do. You could do that because you're a rich guy on LinkedIn whose job is posting on LinkedIn. Not everyone has that privilege. So it's a realistic problem to be struggling with the cost of living because they don't have that power. But anyway, this one's followed up. I was supposed to stay in Vietnam for a month trip. I lasted 5 days. Sorry, the amount that this guy was bragging and being like, just pack up and move to Vietnam. He lasted 5 days in Vietnam. Skin rash this morning. Vomiting at 3 a.m. from food poisoning. Oh, so the cheap food was a good buy then. Pollution choking the air. Noise everywhere. Scooters, horns, chaos. Renting apartments only to find out it's someone's spare room. Everybody romanticizes digital nomad Asia. You were literally doing that a week before this post. A week before this post. Cheap rent, street food, cafes. Reality? A health hazard with Wi-Fi. Enough is enough. I booked a flight the same day. Winners don't tolerate bad environments. They put themselves where performance thrives. That's why I'm going back to Dubai, because winners move fast and make quick decisions. It's always Dubai as well. Like, I'm sorry, dude, but you're acting... First of all, you're acting like, oh, you're struggling to pay rent? Just move to another country. You had the money to move to Vietnam, go, nah, this isn't it, and move back to Dubai, right? People don't have the spare money to just do something like that. You have enough money to do that. And also your job is posting on LinkedIn. So it's not like you couldn't do that literally anywhere that you can access the internet. Like, not everybody has the privileged situation that you have. And it's not like a mindset thing and the winners live where it makes the money. It's you have the privilege to do that. You already had the money to do that. So you have the opportunity to make more money because you already have the money. Not everyone has that privilege. When you have ultra high net worth friends who casually invite Elon Musk to your 37th birthday celebration. First of all, AI. Second of all, weird. Really, really fucking weird. What? Why? What? You made and posted this. She chose to make and post this. The really weird way that AI Elon is feeding her that cupcake as well. That it's just weird. This is weird. Also, I'm sorry. I don't care how much money would come from it. If I had an ultra high net worth friend who was like, oh, happy birthday, I've invited Elon Musk. No, bye. I don't want. Especially like, right, she's a woman. You need to be careful if your friends are inviting Elon Musk, because the second Elon comes at you with a turkey baster, it's time to get out of there. It's time to go. Gen Z interview be like, please come, have a seat, tea or coffee. Got a matcher? Nah? Okay, I'll just order from Food Panda. Can you share your resume? Already slid it into your DMs, bro. How much work experience do you have? 0, but don't worry, I Google fast. Salary expectations? Not much, just 70k plus free Wi-Fi and AC. Office timings are 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. No. 5:30 is skincare plus Netflix plus 8 hours of beauty sleep. Can you join tomorrow? Sorry, bestie. I'm off to the Maldives to heal my inner child. Maybe next month. I'll text you on Snapchat. Bye. HRs. Does this sound familiar? Hashtag. Hashtag. So, a few things to take apart here. First of all, how much work experience do you have? 0. Pretty reasonable for someone who's young enough to have not been working yet. If this is their first job, then they're not gonna have work experience, right? I'm Gen Z. Don't get me wrong. I'm Gen Z. I'm 25 years old. But Gen Z can be anywhere down to like, what, 15 years old, right? Like, that's how wide the generation is. I'll put the actual age up on screen, but it's pretty young. It's kids that haven't had a job yet. So that's not a weird one. Also, salary Salary expectations, not much, just 70k plus free Wi-Fi and AC. Do jobs not have Wi-Fi and AC as a part of the job? Is that like a crazy request from someone that the job they work at, that the building has air conditioning and Wi-Fi, they would be able to use that as part of the job? But also, someone rightly mentioned in the comments from this that she's from Pakistan, and in Pakistan, they measure salaries monthly, and 70,000 rupees, Pakistani rupees, is the equivalent to about $250 a month, or about 180 pounds if you're in Britain a month. And she's acting like that's a crazy amount. That's like a quarter minimum wage if you're working a full-time job in the UK. It maybe not even a quarter, less than, maybe like a sixth of minimum wage if you're working a full-time job in the UK. And she's acting like that's some crazy demand. Also, she makes it out like 8 hours of sleep is also just a crazy request, as if that isn't like the average requirement that a human body needs to get an adequate amount of sleep. And also, on top of that, can you join tomorrow? HR saying, can you start the job tomorrow at an interview is really sudden. A lot of people aren't going to be prepared to start that quick. If you are, great. But sorry, I'm off to the Maldives isn't a crazy thing to say. Sorry, I already have a holiday booked for and paid for that I'm going on, so I cannot start the job tomorrow because I will not be in the country, is a very reasonable thing to say. That's not weird. If you've already got a holiday booked before you've got the job, it would be completely normal to be like, by the way, I have a holiday, so I will need to start once the holiday is done. That's a completely reasonable thing to say. This whole thing just doesn't make any sense. The whole thing's like trying to character assassinate Gen Z, but everything that's been said is just reasonable. Anyway, the final post from Tom. I'm happy to share that I'm starting a new position as deceased at none. That's right. Even when you die, the grind isn't over. You start your new job at deceased on LinkedIn. You thought death was an escape? God, no. Your ghost is going to be running your LinkedIn profile until the end of the universe. When the heat death of the universe hits, that's it. That's when you're done. And you know what? Your manager will still be trying to get you to come in on Saturdays. But that is where I'm going to end the video, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed. This is my first time looking at this subreddit. I'd never heard of or looked at LinkedIn lunatics before, and a friend recommended it to me. So this was a ride. LinkedIn was a mistake, a bad one, a really bad one. But if you would like to support me in making more content like this so that I don't have to get a job, there's a few things that you can do. First of all, share the videos with your friends. If you think you have friends that would enjoy the content, share it with them. It's free. It helps me grow the channel. Second of all, if you do have money to put towards the channel, then please do consider joining as a YouTube member or patron, because it really genuinely helps support the channel, and you guys get extra content if you do so. And third of all, if you're watching with ad block, maybe consider just turning it off for like a video. It's a free thing to do. You might have to watch an ad, but it genuinely really helps support the channel. So, you know, you don't have to do any of that, obviously, but it does really help support the channel. A huge, massive special thank you to all of the YouTube members and patrons that do support the channel as well. All of your names are up on screen right now. It genuinely means so much, and it genuinely helps so much. So thank you to everybody that does, genuinely. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed. And as always, I will see you in the next video. Peace out.